Now Moki is working on a 90cc four-stroke opposed.
Is this the same engine you
Four-stroke.
had in your Demoiselle?
No,
That was bigger, wasn't it?
much bigger.
Yeah,
That's
what I
270 feature, which is not common. Common is a swiveling nose wheel. But this is a tailless design. You don't have a rudder in the prop blast. How do you control it on takeoff? And
Free swivel, huh? How about
Glide
that?
brakes or
Of course.
Free swiveling nose wheel.
Feel them when you grab underneath. Hydraulic cylinders. These are the brakes. Let me get my transmitter on. I can show it.
Disc brakes on the main gear. Fuel tank setup.
This
Okay, down elevator for disc brakes.
or steering with the wheels, of course, with the brakes. As you do have a swiveling nose wheel, you have to have means in controlling the airplane on the run.
Okay.
Don't use it too much, you won't pick up speed. Take enough speed.
Engine fins are carved off to match the cowl. How about that?
More or less to save weight with the spark plugs.
I see.
So this is air cooling to the plugs, and the engine breathes cold air out of the fuse. And cooling is done from the bottom. This is the air intake.
I see.
Right there. And the air passes over the cylinders and leaves the engine to the rear.
And it must work, because this thing is
Yes.
not a hanger queen, is it, George?
No, it's not. You can see that. See, this is where the air passes through. It's sucked out by the propeller.
Excellent.
How many flights do you have on this thing?
I can't tell.
So the wings,
Yes.
beautiful as ever, and the
Has there been any more
they
of these
plug
built
in.
as a model?
Yeah, this is
The,
number,
rudder servos at the tip of the wing are on a little platform
well,
here,
this is quite a few years ago, so I
which
guess
makes it
only
nice
a
to
few
get to.
A few survivors about that.
How does it fly? Does it fly well?
Let's put it like that. It's
And you have rudders out here.
But this thing is.
This
If you
is
sit
a
in the-
one-half scale.
If you sit in the real thing, it's
One
pretty
half
tight.
scale, right.
So
Your shoulders are 18 inches.
this is 27 centimeters. So we are talking 52. Look at this. Oh yeah, look at this.
Okay.
See?
Okay, we believe you. All right. You could fit in there.
Yeah.
Look at that, look at that. That's night for night flying, guys.
Right.
I really like this idea of getting your air from inside the cabin for your carburetors, because you're getting it from a chamber that's very stable.
I do that.
Where a lot of
quite
guys have problems with airplanes because their chamber around the intake of the carburetor is unstable at different speeds.
Yeah.
And they can't find the problem, but they've never checked that out.
It's not only that. The other problem is that you do what we call have a heat shortcut. The engine compartment is hot. You suck in the hot air. That thing builds up heat more and more. This is why I really favor
Yeah.
the cold
Excellent.
air intake.
Yeah, excellent.
Well, I've been doing motor racing in my younger years, so I learned my lesson.
Just, okay, we're in
Milwaukee.
George's
that's a
engine
gasoline.
test bed stand here. Noise is eliminated. He's a closed room. And what we testing here, George?
That's the new Moki. It's an all gasoline.
Oh, I see.
Gasoline radio.
Is this a prototype or something?
It's one of the very early ones.
I see.
Yeah.
Moki,
Yes. But
5-cylinder.
I'm not too happy with it till now, as it builds up heat over the period of time. It overheats actually, and it has a lot of breaking in time now. What I'm suspecting is that I don't have sufficient airflow due to this backplate. So I have to try something else here. Speed of the airflow.
George can
injection
raise or lower his
When you
fuel tanks
pop
for
an
testing
system, an
engines.
intake valve. It gives you a short,
Determines-
fast impulse. It sucks in.
There's George's exhaust system. Exhaust system.
No problem. I'll pull that handle down.
Well, we're going to go in George's prop room here, see if he's got any propellers.
If you do motor racing,
Well, he's got some small propellers.
if you do motor racing and you have several cars,
He's
you
got
do
some
need a lot of
bigger
gears,
propellers.
a lot of transmission.
And he's got a couple bigger ones down here, and then he's got some super big ones down here.
Well,
Here.
the everyday stuff.
His is everyday stuff. Look at this, Earl Lonnie. Eat your heart out.
Aerodynamic setup or configuration. That's the standard original configuration out of 1945. Split ailerons and elevators, ways too much drag.
There's a pair of Wackos.
So the nowadays design is this.
Okay.
Symmetrical,
It's a fun airplane.
a little bit of washout.
7 degrees of washout,
That was
1.5 degrees of washout. This one works a lot better, he says. wingtip washout.
I like to make
Old timers, old
I
timers.
like to try it in a small size before I do the big.
Look at this little Newport 11, will you?
For
I
sure.
love it, I love it, I love it.
Small size, the big one will anyway.
Fly better.
Yeah, I
sure.
love this.
So this actually is the prototype of the, this is in it.
I sold those in that state.
You know what I did? I gave it an OS curve. It has a permanent glow system on it, and I took the heads off and lathed them out a little bit. Compression ratio was
Carries a
much
spare
too high.
prop.
Nice, nice.
It's a demo.
P38 Lightning
Now trust how we, you'll see that
and a flying bird of some kind.
who have airplanes and don't have too much space available, you have to look for ways how to fill a room with model airplanes.
Another room, another room.
You got it.
If you need a wing, here's a wing up here that'll fit any airplane. And fuselages, you want any fuselages? Grab one.
Look at this.
I don't believe it. I don't believe it. They slide in and out on a meat hook. Look at this, Lufthansa DC-3, German bombers,
Actually, I did
unbelievable.
the same thing in my
P-51s,
Florida.
Did you?
MiGs,
Same weight.
unbelievable.
How many models did you ship to Florida?
I guess it we have about.
Take your pick. Nice and bright in it. F-82, twin Mustang.
It's a little
Yes.
longer fuselage.
Yeah, sure it is.
Twin Mustang.
Nose is longer.
Yeah.
So we made our own plug, own mold, and this is the first prototype of that plane.
Look at that Bearcat.
It flies on YS 140s.
Bearcat.
That's a kit from Czechoslovakia. It's the
F8F,
rare bear.
huh? F8F.
And I've already destroyed one due to elevator flutter. Flies on a 190cc on a 15 horse King opposed twin two-stroker. This is the problem. Flutter. And this
Flutter.
is anti-flutter weight now.
Your Skeets
Yes,
model of the DC-3.
right. So the suction height was too much for that carburetor. So I really brought it back here. Now I'm fine.
And those are OS what engines?
120s.
120s. And he put the carburetor out in the open there and
Yeah.
solved his problems. The Pond Racer. Sort of. A sort of pond racer. You're a young Meister.
Yeah, bigger
And,
young
yeah.
monster. Look at this here. This is a nice.
Steiglitz, is that the Steiglitz?
Yep.
Oh, yes.
It's right here. And Stuka.
And a Stuka, JU-88, 87,
Yes, right.
JU-87.
The real one.
Oh, that's right, those are the ones you had at
This
Vegas.
was going to be a low production or low cost fighter. And
This is one of those metal longeron kits that
Right.
George has, a Precisa kit that's no longer
Hornet.
manufactured, called the Hornet. Excellent.
So this is all made out of aluminum tubing. Over here now,
Yeah, yeah.
I put a Saito 300 in it and did a few mods, but it flies nicely. Took it over to Vegas and had my own plug. And composite and round gives a very stiff structure.
Siemens Schuckert.
So we do have molds now here for all the parts which are made from plastic, like the Z struts up here, the struts in the wings, the center part of the tailplane, everything is out of the mold.
There's George in there.
And this flies on a 190 opposed twin two-stroker.
Comes in the morning to go flying. He can't make up his mind which airplane to take, right, George?
Yeah, that's right.
So, and they all cry out, take me, take me.
That's
So
it,
which one do
exactly.
you favor?
Oh, well, it depends on me and the amount of beers I had on
Okay,
the
all right.
night before.
What a guy. Oh yeah, Taube. I read about that German in Tungzhou, China in World War I
Yeah.
with that Mercedes-powered Taube. This is where George lives when he's in Florida,
There's a favorite.
Marco
Of
Island.
course, there's a friend again who runs a boat business who's have to go all around. I'm on the southwest
I
coast.
keep right up in Seattle.
Oh, wow.
We do all the San Juan.
20-footer, 68.
Camels over the front.
So let me show you a few more photo shots maybe. I have a box over here which is
Okay, George says this is a Proctor kit, 5th scale, Newport 11. I love it.
years ago, so I just tried
Hey,
to do
George has
something.
got a Proctor Jenny kit up there with the fuselage half framed up.
I don't know.
George calls this his loft, and he has his what he calls his little bit bigger airplanes in here.
Actually, we had it much better organized, but till
His
this-
little bit bigger airplanes,
till
he
this
says.
spring we
one ugly airplane.
but it flies.
Wow.
It was quite a job to get it to fly properly.
It's really nice.
Just some of them. We'll get the rest
We
of
had
them.
an exhibition here with our local.
DH2 maybe?
dealership.
Yeah,
There's
big-
the wings, the demoiselle we saw fly last fall at
3/4
Las Vegas.
size, right, George?
Yeah.
yeah.
3/4 size.
Flew great. Looks like a, what is this, a third scale or
Who knows?
half scale spad?
Just to fit the
I
engine.
don't know what he has done.
And a Fokker D8 looks like. And a Taube.
Toby, yeah.
Taube. Yeah, that's no little jewel either, that's a big jewel. Man, oh man.
Look at that engine, it's right in there.
Yeah. Wow. What RPM does that run at?
Oh, about 4.5.
Goes probably very
Depends on
quick.
the prop.
The road fine.
So it's, I don't really read it. It's the same thing again.
Here's a Sopwith puppy flew at Las Vegas with that big trailing streamer.
That's a bird which was at Vegas in 1981, and we didn't have any radials in those years, 4-stroker radials. So I took the very early OS 60 4-strokers and geared them, and it flew pretty well.
And we got to hear, what is it, this little jewel?
That's the fuselage of the Cody
Oh yeah, this one here is
Cody
the
wings. This is a Blackburn.
Blackburn, that's it. Out of,
Metal fuse also. No plastic, all aluminum.
there's a JU-52.
Yeah.
And in the background, a Fokker DR1.
111. Flies on 2 G10.
Here's Alan Hawes, still flying high. Good man, Alan.
Those wings and
There's a
tails,
Henkel bomber.
Yeah, they are all elliptic, so nobody really tries.
Wings to the JU-52.